Today was very rainy and it had me running into the theaters like the Flash. I just got done watching the movie and so far, it's just good. Not great, not amazing, it's just good. So I am a bit pissed off at one thing, but that's for later. Now, Tom Cruise said this was a movie that we need right now. Do I agree? Let me just say, kind of yes. It is a movie that we need right now based off of the emotions of the story. So, the love for his mother and everything. This is a movie that we need right now. But is it the greatest DC movie I've seen live action? Let me take a time to think. Aside from everything but Man of Steel, I think yes, a little bit. Because my top DC movie is Man of Steel. Everything else, it's below 5. I'm sorry. Everything else really isn't as entertaining as Man of Steel. This is second to Man of Steel. I do agree. This has been the best DC movie since Man of Steel. Everything else, it wasn't as, great as Man of Steel. Not even Batman vs. Superman. I really had to think about that, but it's not as great as Man of Steel. So yes, The Flash is the best DC movie since Man of Steel. But I think it was very, very overhyped. Now, how do I explain this? Because it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. This is the movie where you walk into it, you think you're going to see Avengers Endgame. But as soon as you watch it, it's as good as Marvel's Avengers. So you're walking in thinking you're going to see a 10 out of 10 movie, but you come out and say, well, it wasn't a 10 out of 10, but it was good. It wasn't bad, and I'm not disappointed. I'm definitely not disappointed. So if it was a bad movie, I would have walked out here pissed. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to rate this a 7 out of 10. Now, I'm about to get into the spoiler area. So if you don't like spoilers, bye. That's what I rate this movie. It is definitely worth seeing. 7 out of 10. Flat. 7 out of 10. It definitely was overhyped, but it is a good movie. Now, so far, here's what happens throughout the movie. We're just going to tell you the basis of the story. Barry is still investigating his dad and who killed his mom. So far, he runs really, really fast and he discovers that he can go back in time. Then he tells Bruce Wayne and he tries to do it anyway. He warns him, he does it anyway. And Ben Affleck's Batman, he has like 5 minutes of screen time. I'm gonna just say this. He has a good action scene, but to me, it was not enough. So not as big as the Snyder Cut. I mean, Ben Affleck didn't really get as much time to shine as he should have, but it's a Flash movie, so meh. I wouldn't say this was a good outing as Batman for Batfleck, but whatever. He goes back in time anyway. Now, this is what happens. This is how he gets stuck somewhere. A Savitar figure, yes, it does look like Savitar. A Savitar figure knocks him out of the Speed Force as he's going back in time. So he discovers he's in front of his mom's house. His mom is alive. He goes inside to talk to his mom. Then he realizes that's the day where he becomes the Flash. So he talks to his older self, introduces himself, tells him everything what's going on. He doesn't necessarily tell him why he's in the past. He doesn't tell him that his mom dies. But in order to stop things from happening and going wrong, he has to get the current Barry, the old past Barry, his powers. So the day he gets stuck in the past, which Savitar figure pushed him out of, he has to go give him his powers. So in doing so, he goes to Star Labs, puts him in the area where he got struck by lightning. And in doing so, you see in the trailer where the lightning goes through Barry into the other Barry. The Barry of the past gets his powers and he loses them. So now, primary Barry doesn't have his powers and alternate Barry has his powers. So now, alternate Barry is excited, going crazy, trying to figure out the powers and isn't as good as using his powers as primary Barry is. So he's looking for help. He's trying to find Batman. In doing so, he discovers Michael Keaton Batman. So he tells him what's going on, and Michael Keaton Batman helps them find Superman. They're looking for Superman because General Zod appears out of nowhere. General Zod appears, and then they're looking for Superman. Come to find out, Superman is Kara. So he does not that he doesn't exist, but he isn't there. He does exist, but he died as a baby. So Kara is the only one who can help fight Zod. Now, we skip to the battle part. They fight Zod, and things do not go as expected. Current Barry has a little bit of struggle dealing with alternate Barry because he's a little goofy. My view on Ezra Miller's Flash, I really want to say that he's a little too goofy. I'm sorry. A lot of you don't understand that jokes can be done well, but with Ezra Miller in the Flash, it's not done right. I feel like people aren't acting good. Ezra Miller, he does a few good scenes. So far, the movie is good enough for you to not really have a big problem with Ezra Miller. And he does a good enough job for you to be focused on the movie. But somebody said in one of the directors, somebody said, I don't think nobody can play Flash as good as Ezra Miller. That was absolute bullshit. I'ma just say that right now. There is definitely somebody who can play the Flash 10, 20, 100 times way better than Ezra Miller. So we're gonna throw that outside. There is definitely somebody who can play the Flash better than Ezra Miller. That was all bullshit. Definitely somebody better. But when they fight General Zod, things are not going according to plan. Now, like I said, spoilers are happening right now. Supergirl gets killed and Batman gets killed. He commits suicide. Alternate Barry is upset that they died and he wants to go back in time to have another chance against Zod. He doesn't listen to primary Barry. Shit gets out of hand because what alternate Barry does not know is Barry's trying to save his mom. And here's the difference between these two. Primary Barry, he's hurt, he's upset, he's trying to figure this out. He's really focused on saving his mom. Alternate Barry has not lost his mother. He didn't lose his mother, so he doesn't have the same amount of pain or focus as primary Barry. So he doesn't have that experience as the Flash as well. So he's kind of reckless with his powers. He just wants to go back, solve things, not knowing that things cannot be solved. So he rewinds time. Alternate Barry rewinds time. Primary Barry follows him, and they try again. Zod kills Supergirl and Batman again. Then alternate Barry does not listen to him. They go into the Speed Force and primary Barry stays in the Speed Force while alternate Barry is trying to save Superman, Supergirl, and Batman again. Over and over and over. He asks for primary Barry's help. Hey, I'm in here alone trying to fix everything. He doesn't listen. Primary Barry, he realizes that this is an inevitable point of time. You cannot stop this point. And by then, it's a whole bunch of realities where Superman, Supergirl, and Batman dies. You cannot stop them from dying. This is an inevitable point. So Primary Barry starts crying and tries to convince him that we have to let his mom die. It's the only thing. Now, this is when that Savitar figure pops up again. This Savitar-looking figure is actually an older version of Barry, who's been trying millions and millions and millions of times to save Supergirl and Batman, to fix everything, and it hasn't been working. So he tells them that he's an older version. He tells them, I've been trying to fix this, but the only reason why and the only thing in my way is you. So that Savitar looking figure, Dark Flash, tries to kill Primary Flash. Alternate Barry jumps in front of him and he gets killed. Dark Flash, he just disintegrates. He just goes away. Alternate Barry dies. Primary Barry realizes he has to stop this. He goes back to fix what he had done in the past, and things seemingly go back to normal. So he goes back to the present and he has court with the case about his father. And it turns out his father is innocent. Now, for the cameos, about the cameos that you've heard, Nicolas Cage Superman. Yes, we do get a cameo of Nicolas Cage's Superman. We get a cameo of Christopher Reeve's Superman, not just Christopher Reeves, but Christopher Reeve's Supergirl as well. We get a cameo from Theflash, Jay Garrick, the guy who plays Savitar's Jay Garrick. We get a cameo of him, and we get George Reeves' cameo of Superman. So we see worlds colliding as the Flash tries to fix everything and it doesn't work. Nicolas Cage confirmed, yes, he's in there. So this was definitely a rumor that people thought was or wasn't true. And it is confirmed. It was a pretty epic scene. I'm pretty sure it's something from the comics, but Nicolas Cage Superman in the alternate timeline, he was fighting a giant spider. It was pretty epic. I don't know what it was. It's probably something from the comics. Now, at the end of the movie, things seemingly go back to normal. And the Flash, he comes across Bruce Wayne, which also isn't his Bruce Wayne. So it seemingly goes back to normal. And what Bruce Wayne is it? George Clooney. George Clooney. It is confirmed. George Clooney's Bruce Wayne is in here. But that's where it ends. George Clooney's Bruce Wayne pops up and he says, "You're not Batman." And then it goes to the end credits. Now, this is the part that pissed me off. The end credits was the Aquaman thing, getting drunk, paying for his fucking, I don't know what the hell. It was fucking disappointing. Didn't like it. The end credit scene was not worth it. That's the big problem I have. The end credit scene was hyped up. Pretty hyped up. But that was not worth it at all. Nothing juicy that's informative for the next installment. So we end with Barry in his seemingly normal present with George Clooney's Bruce Wayne as the Batman. And he's confused. What do you mean? Because he's out in the open. Because he's coming out of court and Bruce Wayne is congratulating him. But it's not Ben Affleck's Batman. So it is George Clooney's Batman. So Barry is at a little bit of a standing point. There's a lot of questions I have. Number one, who killed his mom? Obviously in the comics, it's Reverse Flash. So clearly, this is possibly what's going to happen. Reverse Flash probably is the villain. We do not see Reverse Flash at all in this movie. Just so you know, we don't see Reverse Flash. We don't find out who kills his mom. That Savitar looking figure, he wasn't necessarily the main villain. He was just an alternate person trying to fix everything that fucked it up. But we didn't get a fight between him and the Savitar looking figure, Dark Flash, which was what they call. And we didn't get really much of a fight with them. It was only the General Zod scene. No Reverse Flash. No, we do not see Grant Gustin's Flash. No cameos from him. We don't see any conclusion to the story. We leave Flash with a George Clooney Bruce Wayne, and that's where it ends. Now, here's where I got pissed off. Because there was a rumor that in the end credit scene, Barry would come back to the present to another Batman, a faceless Batman. We did not get that. I'm gonna keep it real. I really believe that was going to happen. So I kind of think I brung this on myself because I really thought that there was going to be an end credit scene with the new DCU Batman faceless. I kind of did that to myself because it wasn't confirmed or denied. But what was confirmed, now it's confirmed. Aquaman drunk scene, that is confirmed. But it's useless. Like, I'm gonna be honest. These end credit scenes are getting a little bit boring now. I did not like the end credit scene. Hated it. Useless. Stupid. Nothing important in the end credit scene. So I'll just say that right now. If you don't mind spoilers, there is nothing important in that end credit scene. But you should watch it anyway, just to see it. Want to see everything. Could be missing something. But I don't know. So far overall, the movie was good. It was good. The Flash is a great superhero. Not my favorite, but one of my favorite superhero stories ever is Flashpoint. Because one thing about Flashpoint is very important for people to keep in their heads. I would say out of any superhero story, fuck everything. Flashpoint is one of the best and greatest superhero stories ever, because one thing Flashpoint teaches you is that you cannot change things, even if you could. This is what Flashpoint teaches me. Like, this is what I get out of Flashpoint. All this dude was trying to do is go back and save his mom. In doing so, he fucks up the universe and everything goes crazy. Inevitable. Some things are inevitable. Now, real life, I don't know how that goes in real life, but some things can be changed, but some things just can't be changed. And that's what I really take out of the Flashpoint story. And I just think about that, man. Like, this kind of is realistic if you really think about it. What would happen if you went in the past and changed something? That small little change can cause a massive difference. Like, even if you're doing something good, he's trying to save his mom, but he fucked up the universe. So I think it's a very good story about, trying to do what's right and getting back what you care about. But, some things can't be changed even if you could. But the cameos were great. I like my favorite cameo was Nicolas Cage's cameo. I wasn't a fan of how his Superman looked. It was weird, but that was a favorite because he looked tough fighting that giant spider. It's probably something from the comics. But overall, this movie is good. Definitely, most definitely overhyped as fuck. Overhyped, but I was not disappointed. So I thought I was going to see a 10 out of 10 movie, but it was a 7 out of 10. So one thing I don't like is overhyping some shit. Like Tom Cruise, what he said about this movie. I definitely do think it's a movie we need right now, because just as a movie in general, we do need to watch stuff like this to realize, like, sometimes we can't change shit. So if you're going to see this movie, I definitely recommend it. It is definitely a good movie. Definitely worth seeing, but it is not the greatest DC movie I've ever seen. Definitely not. And one of my problems with this is the jokes. Like, the silliness. Like Ezra Miller, he's not, let me say it, by now I'm used to him. I'm used to him as the Flash. So I'm okay with him as the Flash though. I'm still okay with, he still looks cool as the Flash. It's just that he's a little bit silly and I don't like that shit. And just the acting. Everybody, these jokes are getting out of hand, bro. And I don't have a problem with jokes. It's just how you do it. It's just how you do it. Cause I have an example of doing jokes right in movies. Like the silliness, like it's weird. The Flash, oh, it's the Flash, and then he's just saying, oh, hey, that's bad acting, bad jokes. Let me think of a time where something was done right. I know it's in a Marvel movie that I can think about. Maybe, I'm trying to think, but there is a few superhero movies where jokes are done right while still keeping that serious tone, but doing it right. Like, I don't think they've done well. They're kind of getting bad with these jokes. It's very goofy. Like, I went to see a cool Flash. Like, you can have jokes, but still remain a badass. Like, it makes you look like a goofball. Like, I see this as a goofball, but he has scenes that keeps the focus. But I love this movie. It is definitely worth seeing. Please go watch it. Please go watch it. It is definitely a good movie. Kara, Supergirl, didn't get much because her fate was dark as fuck. Sorry about Supergirl, but she got done dirty. She got killed, and there was no stopping that shit. Michael Keaton Batman executed. It was no stopping that. It was no stopping that. The cameos was great, but no Grant Gustin, no Reverse Flash. And another thing, there was no hint of Reverse Flash. So I don't know. We're left at a question mark. Now I heard they're doing a sequel, so answers will be answered. Like, no, questions will be answered. So whatever. Y'all check this movie out. Like, comment, and subscribe.